Mangwanani, Makasimba here. Takasimba. I told you guys last time that this is probably not the last time I address this issue of Chidimma, because many African people are watching South Africa with confusion, because the criticism that is targeted at Chidimma applies to most white people, but those white people are untouched and unapproached because of the complexion of protection. Now, I saw a video that was very disturbing from all the other videos that I watched of Chidimma, and that was done by our independent candidate who was running for elections this year, Anele. And the way she expressed herself, I was like, South Africans are so passionate about fighting for their culture. And then I realized people don't understand the difference between ethnicity and citizenship. So those are some of the things that we need to clarify in this video.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
I couldn't see it politically correct, rational, mature, and of any basis for me to follow Julius Malema when he left the ANC, because Julius brings absolutely nothing to the table that would be worthy of Anele to associate with.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinjiva Sono. And we're back at it again with another one, and we're covering the issue of Chidimma, our African queen, once again. You can imagine just how much pressure this is putting on her, how it's going to affect her performance in the Miss SA competition, how it made it, how she's feeling just in general. Maybe she wants to give up, maybe she wants to pull out, but she knows if she pulls out, then a lot of enemies are going to be happy. Some people are telling her to be strong because she knows that she's a South African citizen. And some people are saying you cannot represent South Africa while you are part of your Nigerian roots and your Mozambican roots. And it's just a mess up. But then I bump into this video of who says Anele Mda. And I'm like, my goodness, South Africans, are you this angry about this thing, Chidimma, to have this type of strong opinion? The language that Mda was using, I was like, for a lady who has come from political party to political party, one woman to another woman, I would expect, for me, most South African women would say, listen, let this woman's story come out. Let everything be cleared out. Home Affairs has cleared it up. Miss South Africa has said, listen, we have screened and done everything here. She's okay. But still, South African women don't want this lady there. South African women in particular. But I want to play these two clips of Anele. And guys, the energy that you guys are taking for Chidimma is too much now. Now it's too much. For me, it's too much. But listen to the energy here.
You step in our country. You want to take away opportunities and spaces that are meant for struggling, marginalized groupings of our country that are yet to see a reprieve that emanates from a realization of what does it mean to crystallize and translate directly to a personal enjoyment. The unleashing and the understanding of the democratic dispensation that they live under. You come and want to take that away when we are yet to fully see that being realized and be fulfilled for every single historical and currently marginalized people. to enjoy. Now already you are fielding a foreigner. Yima, what is special ngale foreigner nisinika yona? When have we ever been a priority in Nigeria? When have we ever been a priority in Nigeria? If we were to say now, there are scholarships for free in Nigeria. Would they say South Africans first? Would they say we offer and all expenses paid? Scholarship to any university of your choice? From grade R.
From grade R.
Or grade 1. To varsity. Would they do that? Now we must prove that we care for Nigerians by surrendering a space that belongs to South African women. Do you know that we are yet to fully embrace and fully ensure that challenges that on a daily basis South African women grapple with have been appropriately and sufficiently been shined the spotlight on. Now we must already, when we're
guys, come on, guys. I know, man. You guys, come on now. Please, guys. I'm asking you, my African people, please. My African people, I'm begging you. Don't have this type of energy within you. This level of bitterness. And the thing I have said in the past is that if you are going to be this passionate about fighting a fellow African person, because I'm saying even if she was not South African, of which she is, even if she was not South African, I would expect you as Africans to have the same type of energy for people that took your land. The same type of energy for people that killed your families here in South Africa. People that hanged your families, people that put you through apartheid. I would expect that you would have the same type of enthusiasm. Like you would go hard on them. I expect this. But the way you guys go in for your African brothers, no, it's disappointing for me. To say the least, it's very disappointing to see an African sister attack another African sister without giving it a second thought to say, okay, maybe, because you need to give yourself that space of error to say, listen, maybe I am wrong, so I need to speak from a point of where when I get corrected, I'm not embarrassed. You can't speak with so much anger towards another African sister, and the example that she made about the scholarship in Nigeria is stupid examples. Every country, when they give up scholarship and whatever, obviously their citizens will benefit from that bursary or scholarship more than any other person from other countries. And if those people qualify for those bursaries, it's because they qualify by papers to receive those bursaries. It's not because they are first preference. Chidimma did not get into Miss SA because she was first preference. She won. It's a competition. Now it's in the final stages. They are finalists now, So she has won. Other ladies have been eliminated and now she is in the finalist stages. But the reason I am addressing Anele is because of this very same clip, but what she said about Pan-Africanism. When she spoke about Pan-Africanism, obviously, your boy, who's all about Pan-Africanism, had to also address Uses Anele when it comes to that. Very disappointing. For those who can hear Xhosa, just listen to what she said here about Amasende. If you don't know what is amasende, it's better that you don't know. Listen to this.
Silwela izwe lethu apha.
Yes.
Ngoba indawo okuneka amasende foreigners le. Emithungu eqhaqhekileyo etsiza ubovu. Sasiqhela nina. Sixela ngumsuni we-Pan-Africanism. There's no shit like that here. Go show us one country that exercises and believes in the ideological, political principle of Pan-Africanism that allows this shit in South Africa. Show one country that does that nonsense. You only talk Pan-Africanist because you are trying to protect the fact that you are being fed nika imali yama foreigner, nika imali ye drug dealers, ne drug lords ezimdaka. Because you know you have protected your own children. You have kept your children behind high walls. You know very well that these foreigners and their debt and their ills will not touch your children. But you've got no interest. You've got no interest
in what?
For the future of the children of South Africa, who are not yours, who do not come from your womb. You don't care. Whenever we speak on these issues, you think you are going to terrorize us by Pan-Africanism.
If there was a time where Pan-Africanists need to rise more, it is now. Pan-Africanism, it is being patriotic to Africans. That's what it means. And for someone say, name me one country that is practicing Pan-Africanism. If there wasn't any country, of which I will name 3, of course you know which 3 I will name if you are a true person that follows African news. If there was no country in Africa that we can name that practices Pan-Africanism, that would be a shame for us as black people. Number 1. Number 2, Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré did not need to defend Niger when ECOWAS was attacking Niger. Remember, Niger gets some of its electricity from Nigeria. Nigeria cut its electricity. The businesses, you can imagine going from electricity to generator. The businesses in Niger suffered. And the people of Niger suffered because Niger does not have what you call a seashore. It cannot import goods via the sea like other countries. So the sanctions against Niger closed up Niger into demand, into imports. Into imports. And they were slowly dying. As if that was not enough, ECOWAS decided that they're going to listen to France in attacking Niger because of the minerals that France needed to use for electricity in France. So France was taking uranium from Niger, taking it to France and making electricity and paying 20 cents per kilogram in dollars. 20 cents per kilograms, where they were supposed to pay $200 per kilogram. So this is what they were doing to Niger. Niger was suffering. It took an African child by the name of Ibrahim Traoré to save Niger, and also the general of Mali, to say what you are doing to Niger is wrong principally. As an African brother, I'm going to stand for my African brother, and anyone who attacks Niger. This was now Burkina Faso speaking to ECOWAS. ECOWAS, remember, is 15 countries that are in one accord. Let's say that the 50 countries of the west of Africa have joined into an economical hub, that they decided to attack Niger. And it took Burkina Faso and Mali to defend Niger that those attacks never materialized. That is Pan-Africanism. You understand what I'm saying to you, my African brothers and sisters? So Pan-Africanism is something that is going to take long. I understand it fully because our colonizers took so many years to beat us down, condition our minds. It took so many years. Pan-Africanism is not going to happen overnight. You are not going to teach Africans to love each other and it happens overnight. We know that as an Pan-Africanist. Some of us have even accepted that we might not even be alive where we see African borders be demolished, where there is an advanced African border system where people can move just by their fingerprints, and their fingerprints can carry their information. When you go to Zimbabwe, your fingerprint can carry information. If you are a criminal, you are denied access to another state in Africa because of your criminal record, that you cannot move freely when you are a criminal. And when you move freely, when you are not a criminal, you can move freely and trade with other African countries without the limitation of a passport. Africa must move also the information. African police, South African police must be able to work in Nigeria. Nigerian police must be able to come and help in Sudan. Sudan police must go and work in the DRC. Africa must have one army. Africa getting together and sitting with an African parliament that speaks one language. Africa trading with one currency. Those are the dreams that we as Pan-Africanists have. And we understand that the current generation that is living in the land of Africa has been too colonized. Decolonizing their mind is going to be difficult. So we understand that. It should pain you as Africans that you don't feel sorry for Chidimma if she's in the right and you have concluded that she's in the wrong already. Ubuntu, man. The spirit of Ubuntu is no longer there amongst us as Africans. And yes, we are not ignorant to the fact that some Africans come from other countries and commit crimes here in South Africa. That is true. And we are saying that is not a Nigerian problem. That is not a Zimbabwean problem. It's a policing problem. Our police and our correctional service, you guys know in South Africa, are too soft and are too corrupt. You guys know that. You know that. If our police were truly doing their job, it was going to be difficult for these Pakistanis and all of those people to do what they are doing in our townships. But because our townships is where black people were thrown to go and die and go and do their thing, that is where all of these things is happening. And our government does not care about the township economy. So it is wrong, ladies and gentlemen, to attack Pan-Africanism just because of this one situation. It's wrong. And as Pan-Africanists, we must rise up and try to educate you guys that Pan-Africanism is bringing you guys back to your old self, to your real self as an African. To say, African, actually, the minerals that these people are taking, these raw minerals that they are taking, belong to you. You could have free education. You could have free health care. You can have all of those things only if you own the land that you walk on. So there's another lady that explained this thing of citizenship very well. It's a little bit longer clip. Let me just play it before I explain to you guys about the donations for PASETA. So thank you so much for watching up to so far. Listen to this lady who explains this very well. And she's educating us and educating me also on some things I did not know.
Thank you very much, Toli. And I just want to just agree with Tebe about the kind of anxiety. And I think it's very important that we touch on that, because a lot of the times when politicians make the kinds of statements that they make, when they take very populist statements, this is not just about a political statement you're making. These are ordinary people's lives that you're affecting. And I think Tebe is so correct that, the kind of discombobulation that would be happening with Chidimma now having grown up in South Africa, having been born in South Africa, having believed that she's South African, and in fact, wanting to represent South Africa on the national and ultimately the international stage, because Miss South Africa gets to represent the country on an international stage. And then to be treated the way that she has been treated at the level of a government official, a minister of sports, arts and culture, who ought to be one of the biggest supporters of these kinds of sports, arts and culture type of initiatives, must be very devastating for her. But it must also be devastating for her more than anything. The fact that, I think even the response by Fikile Mbalula to say that the Minister of Home Affairs must go into the archive or give some kind of clarity on this is really just a serious invasion of the privacy of Chidimma. It's a serious invasion on the dignity, assault on her dignity, that she should be in a position where she, the Department of Home Affairs goes and comes to South Africa to prove to South Africa. South Africa would have done this due diligence to take on the contestants that enter the competition. So certainly if it's in this competition, then she has met the test of credibility and the test of her citizenship. And so for this to now become a national discourse and conversation that must include her private confidential records being put in front of the country to prove the humanness is actually no different to the situation that we witnessed in the United States when former President Barack Obama had to prove his own citizenship, his own Americanness in the face of the assaults that he was at the time getting from the Republican candidate at the time, Donald Trump. And I do think that, as Tebe has correctly said, we must at all times, as analysts, as writers, as scholars and all of that, when we are talking about this situation, remember that we are talking about a human being here. And I do think, just to answer your question, Tony, that she certainly is a South African. There are various ways, according to the Citizenship Act in South Africa, there are various ways in which one can acquire South African citizenship. And I think it's important, Tony, to speak on the two broad groups of people who are eligible to apply for South African citizenship by naturalization, right? These include two categories, Toli. It's a child who's born in South Africa, to parents who are not South African or who do not possess a permanent residence in the country, and that child can apply for South African citizenship when they turn the age of 18, provided that he or she has lived in South Africa from the date of his or her birth until the date of turning 18, as well as provided that his or her birth has been registered in accordance with the provisions of the Births and Registration Act with the Department of Home Affairs. And the second way in which someone can get citizenship by naturalization is if that person is in possession of a permanent residence, right? And they have ordinarily resided in South Africa for at least 5 years after acquiring that permanent residence status, and who has not been absent in South Africa for a period of more than 90 days in any year in which they would have been in South Africa for that 5 years. So you can get a citizenship by naturalization having been born in South Africa to non-resident parent, or you can even apply for the citizenship by naturalization when you're an adult, you are older, and you would have lived in South Africa for 5 years after having obtained your citizenship by having obtained your permanent residence. So for me, it's neither here nor there which category of naturalization Chidimma would have acquired. But the fact that she was born in South Africa clearly indicates she qualifies for the first category of a child born to non-resident parent who would have been, who turns 18 and has lived in South Africa, has been born, and their birth has been registered. Or even if Chidimma applied for this citizenship after the age of 8, as an adult, after she would have stayed in South Africa for 5 years. That is what the law prescribes. That is what the South African citizenship prescribes. It does not say that you are a South African only if you are born to South Africa and to South African parents. And I think the problem with Dayton McKenzie is that complete disregard for the law.
So what I want there to, I wanted to play that information so that we can know the different ways of obtaining citizenship in South Africa, because many people have got this notion that you must be born here from African parents and everything. But there's so many ways of obtaining citizenships. We know the Guptas obtained citizenship here. Many people from overseas came here and obtained citizenships here. And some people have got dual citizenships, South Africans living in America, South Africans living in in Europe and Asia, all around the world. This citizenship thing is immigration laws that govern this movement. It's just when you are a South African and you have not traveled, you don't even have a passport, you don't even have a good education, so your reasoning capacity becomes a little bit low when you want to describe what a South African is or what is a citizen. You just reason like crazy. But anyway, I hope that clip explained to you a little bit, gave you some light as to how citizenships can be obtained here in South Africa. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So sometime maybe your family, your children's children might end up in Nigeria with business opportunities, with school opportunities, or your child invades some products here in South Africa, but it's bought mostly in Nigeria, and she will have to relocate to Nigeria in 2032 or whatever. And you would want those people to have the African love for your child because he or she is from Africa. You understand what I'm saying? But anyways, so let me give you guys feedback on PASETA. So PASETA, some of you have went to www.paseta.co.za. That is the website of PASETA. What is PASETA? PASETA is the Pan-Africanist School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. That is the name of our school. That is why I had to cover this video of Anele, because I'm a Pan-Africanist. I believe in Pan-Africanism, and one of the problems that we as Pan-Africanists have is the issue of the educational system in Africa, not only in South Africa. In Africa, we are saying the education system is just too low. It does not help our children, and it does not propel them to solving African problems. Africa is further divided with this educational system that we have right now, the language, the history, the curriculum. We've got a problem with everything. So we came up with a solution to say, let's register our own school, and that's exactly what we did. We've got 5 founding members of PASETA. These are the founding members that came together that said, King, we want to assist you in building this school. They are, of course, gentlemen from all kinds of works, different parts of South Africa, different cultural and religious beliefs and everything, with different expertise, qualifications and so forth. So they came together and said, King, we're going to build this school with you. We have went on to a 3 months assignment that we want to build this school from the foundation up. And we have asked people to say, ladies and gentlemen, assist us as Africans to build this school together with you. That's what we are doing in terms of PASETA. So we are saying, Africans, we hear you complaining too much. Africans, we hear you have got a problem with your educational, the educational quality that your children are getting. Let's do something about it. But we cannot do it alone. We need your assistance in everything that we're going to do. And when I'm telling you that Africans answered to this call, I'm not joking. There have been, many people that donated to the school. They put their money, and they said, King, here's my 50 rand, because we said we only need 50 rand commitments a month from 10,000 people. 10,000 people is a lot, but if you do it and I do it, we can get to building our school. So many people have donated. People from South Africa donated. Some people said, listen, King, 50 rand is too little. If the AfriForum people can build organizations, if the Orania people can build a mini city, if those people who are in the minority in our government can do organizations that impact the lives of their children, we can do the same. I will donate more. Here's my 100 rand. Here's my 200 rand. We have gotten even donations of 1,000 rand from one person. So we thank all of you. Your names are passing now on the screen because it's been 2 weeks now that you guys have been donating to PASETA. You have been donating those 50 rand, those 100 rands, those hard-earned money that you have, that you're giving us and entrusting us with it. So we are very cautious on how we're going to spend your money. We know that we've got a magnified glass that is on us, because if we fail, it will look like the VPS saga, corruption and all of those things. We know that their hopes of the African people are lying on us as PASETA, the PASETA team. And we said, of course, we cannot do it alone. On our website, you guys will see, there's somewhere where you can go, and it's a page where you can press save. And there you can enter your information on the website and tell us your expertise and tell us where you want us to, how you would assist PASETA. Maybe you've got a farm, maybe you've got a piece of land, or maybe you've got an expertise in something. You're a graphic designer, you know so much about technology, you know so much about jewelry making, you know so much about so many different things, and you say, King, we want to help the school. Here is my expertise, use them. So you can go on the website, fill in your details, and we will answer you there. Preferably also, or alternatively, you can go to our WhatsApp group and come there and communicate with us there on WhatsApp and say, King, this is who I am. I'm here. This is what I would like to help you guys with. We'll appreciate that. You will see also, we are also building simultaneously PASETA Namibia, of which will be announced very soon. Namibia is actually moving faster. This week we'll be finalizing their paperwork for them, as we are finalizing the paperwork for the main PASETA here, the headquarters in South Africa. So everyone that has contributed to PASETA, thank you so much. I want to actually speak to you guys individually and thank you. So some of you already WhatsApping me, so we're already talking on WhatsApp. I appreciate the contributions that you are doing, that you are making for PASETA. I appreciate it so much. And the team said, I must tell you guys that thank you so much. You are enabling us to realize the dream of building a pan-Africanist independent school from this educational system that our government is giving us. So it's going to be exciting. We've got a 3 months goal. After that, this month we'll be opening a WhatsApp group for you people that are saying, King, I want to assist, I want to do that. And we're going to be having our first Zoom meeting, our first public Zoom meeting, so that we can set you guys in different committees, so that you guys can be part of this. This is not a King thing. This is not the founding members thing. This is a us thing, me and you building this school together. So if you want to see the educational system change in South Africa, this is the first step that we must do. And then we hopefully the roots will grow into Africa and around the world, where everyone will be copying the PASETA school model. So without talking even more, I'll be talking about PASETA and the financial report this whole week. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate everything that you have been doing for us. Any questions, go on the website, ask your questions there. Go on the WhatsApp and send your questions there. We will be happy to speak with you. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.